What if I told you that attraction often begins before you've consciously decided you like someone? Before a word is spoken, before a smile is returned, before logic has a chance to catch up. Your brain is already making predictions. And here's the unsettling part. Some of the strongest signals of attraction aren't about perfect looks or flawless confidence. They're subtle cues your mind processes automatically, often without your awareness. Tonight, we're uncovering the hidden psychology behind attraction. Not pickup tricks, not manipulation, just what science and human behavior reveal about why some people naturally draw others in. Most people believe attraction is all about appearance. But appearance is only the first chapter. Psychologists, evolutionary researchers, and behavioral scientists have spent decades studying why we're drawn to certain people. The picture that emerges is far more complex than social media suggests. By the end of this video, you'll understand why confidence can outweigh beauty, why mystery can sometimes be more compelling than constant attention, and why your own mindset may be influencing how attractive you appear far more than you realize. And one principle near the end explains why people who desperately chase attention often receive the least of it. Let's begin where attraction really starts, the brain. Imagine walking into a crowded room. Within moments, your brain has already begun evaluating countless details: facial expressions, posture, movement, tone of voice, and emotional state. Most of this happens automatically. Researchers suggest that first impressions form remarkably quickly, although they can change as we get to know someone better. Those early judgments aren't always accurate, but they do shape what happens next. This is why attraction often feels instant. Not because your heart made a magical decision, but because your brain rapidly assembled thousands of tiny pieces of information into one emotional prediction. And here's the twist. People often believe they're making purely rational choices, while many of those first reactions are happening beneath conscious awareness. So if attraction starts in the unconscious, what keeps it growing? Confidence changes perception. Think about two people entering the same room. One constantly seeks approval, apologizes for existing, and worries about everyone's opinion. The other stands comfortably, listens carefully, speaks with purpose, and doesn't seem desperate to impress anyone. Who appears more attractive? Confidence isn't about acting superior. It's about communicating emotional stability. Behavioral research consistently links confidence and self-assurance with higher perceived attractiveness across many settings. But there's an important difference. Real confidence says, "I'll be okay whether you choose me or not." Arrogance says, "I'm better than everyone else." People instinctively recognize the difference. Ironically, those who need validation the least often receive the most. But confidence alone isn't enough. Another force quietly amplifies attraction: curiosity. Section 3. The power of mystery. The human brain dislikes unfinished stories. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect, our tendency to remember incomplete tasks or unresolved situations better than completed ones. While this effect wasn't originally about romance, many people believe a similar sense of curiosity can make someone more memorable. That's why revealing everything about yourself immediately isn't always the best strategy. Healthy relationships grow through gradual discovery. Every meaningful conversation opens another door. Every new layer creates another reason to stay interested. Mystery isn't pretending to be unavailable. It's allowing people to discover the real you over time instead of handing them your entire story in the first 5 minutes. And in the next section, we'll explore something even more powerful than mystery: why emotions, not logic, are often the strongest driver of attraction. The psychology of sexual attraction. Section 4. Emotions are more contagious than words. Imagine meeting two strangers. The first is undeniably attractive, but spends the entire conversation complaining. The second is average-looking, yet genuinely curious, laughs easily, and makes you feel comfortable. Days later, who do you remember? Psychologists have long studied emotional contagion, our tendency to unconsciously catch the emotions of people around us. When someone consistently makes us feel calm, excited, inspired, or understood, our brain begins to associate those emotions with that person. In other words, people don't just remember what you said, they remember how they felt when they were with you. And that emotional memory often becomes stronger than physical appearance itself. But there's another psychological force at work, one that explains why mutual interest matters more than endless chasing. Section 5. Why we value what feels mutual. One of the most reliable findings in relationship psychology is something called reciprocity of liking. Simply put, we're generally more likely to feel attracted to people who genuinely seem to like and appreciate us. That doesn't mean pretending. It means authentic warmth creates space for attraction to grow. Movies often glorify relentless pursuit. Reality is different. Healthy attraction isn't built on convincing someone to want you. It's built when two people naturally enjoy each other's presence. Real confidence doesn't chase. It invites. Because attraction becomes far more stable when interest flows in both directions. So if chasing isn't the answer, what is? Section 6. Scarcity is often misunderstood. You've probably heard the advice: be unavailable, ignore their messages, make them jealous. These tactics may create temporary uncertainty, but research doesn't support them as a reliable path to healthy, lasting attraction. What people often mistake for playing hard to get is actually something much simpler: having a meaningful life. People who have passions, friendships, goals, and purpose naturally appear more interesting. Not because they're manipulating others, but because their identity doesn't depend on constant attention. Purpose creates presence. Desperation creates pressure. The difference is subtle, but people feel it almost instantly. And now we arrive at one of the biggest myths about attraction. Section 7. The biggest myth about attraction. Social media often tells us that attraction is all about perfect faces, perfect bodies, perfect lifestyles. But real life tells a more complicated story. Studies consistently show that physical appearance matters, especially for first impressions. Yet, as relationships develop, qualities like kindness, reliability, emotional intelligence, humor, shared values, and trust become increasingly important. Think about the people you admire most. Is it only because of how they look? Or is it because of how they carry themselves? How they treat others? How they make people feel safe, respected, and understood? Beauty may open the door. Character is what makes people stay. And in the final chapter, we'll uncover the deepest psychological lesson of all: the surprising reason why the people who stop trying to become more attractive often become the most attractive versions of themselves. Section 8. The attraction you can't fake. Imagine two people. One spends every day trying to appear attractive. The other spends every day becoming a stronger, wiser, healthier, and more purposeful person. A year passes. Who has changed more? Here's what many people miss. The qualities that create lasting attraction: confidence, emotional stability, curiosity, resilience, humor, and purpose aren't masks you put on. They're byproducts of the life you build. People are remarkably good at sensing authenticity. We notice when someone's confidence is grounded in real experience rather than performance. That's why genuine self-improvement has a quiet power. You stop asking, "How do I make people like me?" and start asking, "What kind of person am I becoming?" Ironically, that's when attraction often becomes effortless. Section 9. The dark psychology most people never notice. Here's the uncomfortable truth. People who desperately seek validation often give away something incredibly valuable: their emotional control. When your happiness depends entirely on someone else's attention, every delayed reply feels personal. Every rejection feels like proof that you're not enough. Every compliment becomes a temporary fix. This is where dark psychology enters, not as a tool to manipulate others, but as a warning about how manipulation works. Some people exploit insecurity by offering just enough attention to keep others emotionally invested. Understanding this pattern isn't about learning to play the same game. It's about recognizing it so you don't become trapped by it. The strongest position isn't controlling someone else's emotions. It's being able to regulate your own. Because the moment your self-worth no longer depends on external validation, you become much harder to manipulate. And that inner freedom is often more attractive than any rehearsed line or calculated strategy. So, what really creates attraction? Let's close every question we open. Attraction doesn't begin with a single feature. It emerges from many signals working together. Your brain notices presence before perfection. It remembers emotions more than appearances. It responds to confidence over desperation. It values authenticity over performance. And while looks may capture attention, character determines whether connection grows or fades. The greatest insight isn't that you can control who is attracted to you. It's that you can control the qualities you cultivate within yourself. And those qualities influence far more than attraction. They shape your relationships, your opportunities, and the life you build. The most attractive people aren't those who spend their lives chasing attention. They're the ones who invest in becoming someone worth remembering. So, instead of asking, how do I get people to notice me? Ask yourself, if someone met me today, what kind of energy would they remember tomorrow? That single question can change far more than your relationships. It can change the direction of your life. If this documentary challenged the way you think about attraction, let us know in the comments. Which psychological insight surprised you the most? And if you enjoy evidence-based psychology, human behavior, and documentaries that go beyond the surface, subscribe and join us for the next deep dive. Because understanding the human mind is the first step to understanding yourself.